have him doing a signing at the November 29th game against the Pacers down at the Q. So if you're going down there, take a copy of the book with you or pick one up. If I believe they'll be available there, and have Vince sign them and tell him you saw it and heard it. You didn't see it because this is radio. Tell him you heard about it here on the Sports Fix. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, let's do it. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com joins us next. Dr. Football still to come and so much more. You're listening to the Sports Fix. Hey, when we go to break, do me a favor. Click a link and tell somebody else to join us. Click, share, and tell the world. Let's do it. Coming back with Jeff Gorman, Indians101.com, next on The Fix.
Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Keep on getting on.
The Sports Fix, the show that asks the question,
what you talking about, Lou? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou? What you talking about? What you talking about, Lou?
We'll be right back.
Hey guys, let me get just a minute and talk to you because millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. Of course, you know we have our year-to-year full season league. One-week fantasy football means no season-long commitments. You play whenever you want. If you've got an injured player, and boy do I know about that, no problem. At DraftKings.com, it's like a new season every week. You're never stuck with the same players. You can pick your team in minutes and be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener nothing wrong with cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. A new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just for playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Get free entry into their $100,000 fantasy football contest this weekend, where first place takes home $10,000. Head to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code Spreaker to play for free with your first deposit. DraftKings.com. Bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker for free entry now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Sports Fix listeners, like us on Facebook today. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Football season is party season at Harry Buffalo North Olmsted. Everyone wins at Harry Buffalo. Every Saturday is Coors Light College Football Saturday with $6 pitchers, 4 bottles for $10, and the Buckeyes in full HD. Football season is most definitely party season, and your headquarters is Harry Buffalo North Olmsted all winter long. Harry Buffalo, join the herd. Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history?
He won it! Elo hit a three-pointer on the sideline!
In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Fantasy sports lovers, you put so much time, hard work, and effort into playing week to week that it quickly stops being a fantasy and starts getting real. And when the smoke clears, you want to show off those victories with a real prize. I mean, a really real prize. Nobody does that like Fantasy Jocks. The crew over at Fantasy Jocks have beautiful, high-quality, and heavy-duty championship belts, rings, trophies, and so much more for all your fantasy sports needs. There's literally only one place to go. FantasyJocks.com.
Hello, Cleveland. This is WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Sports Fix. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix. You guys keep me running during the breaks there. J-Rock back with you here on the Sports Fix Radio Network, rolling on here. Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com on the hotline. We're going to go to him here in just a second, talk a little baseball. We're going to talk football. Hey, we got it all coming in today. Actually hitting the whole spectrum of it. But sit tight, NFL Browns talk coming up. Dr. Football Bill Chachkes, he's coming up next. But next up on the hotline, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com joining us. Shut up in the chat room, Ron Graham. Jeff Gorman joining us. You guys can keep the conversation rolling on Facebook and Twitter and email. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Tweet with us at The Sports Fix, CLE. Email us, The Sports Fix. In that room, by the way, DraftKings.com. You put in the promo code Spreaker, and voila, they send you an entry for their $100,000 entry weekend tournament thingamajiggy. Although I'll tell you, I reached out to them. Full disclosure right here. They told me that the entry that they send you is for a free entry. I did tell them that the best I could tell, it appeared that the free entry was with your first deposit. Now, they tell me that I was wrong, so I'm relaying the message to you. However, if I'm right, just remember that I told you that. But it is DraftKings.com, and it's promo code Spreaker. It's actually pretty cool. I checked it out. I'm going to be playing, too. So if I win $1 million, I don't know if I'll let you know because I may just not show up tomorrow. But other than that, barring if I don't win $1 million, if I just knock on wood, I'm with you, LG. I'll be happy to win a couple hundred. But I'll check it out. It's pretty cool because you're not locked in. It is different, as we know, between the week-to-week suffering that I'm going through and some of you may be going through in your league. It is kind of cool. But anyway, so check that out, DraftKings.com. All right, guys, going to the phones. Let's talk a little baseball here. A lot in the news, a lot maybe in the news to come. So let's do it. Jeff Gorman joins us from Indians101.com every Tuesday. He's here right now. I don't know where he's at. He's always in some weird top-secret location. He's probably in like a bunker somewhere, just hanging out. What's up, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com? How you doing?
I'm doing superb, J-Rock. It's about as beautiful a day as you're ever going to get in November, so what better time than this to talk baseball?
It is, man. I'm looking out the window, and I stepped out a little bit this morning, and I said, man, now I almost wish I did take the day off to show today. I was joking yesterday. I said,
right.
Nah, man, it's just a Tuesday. We're not taking the day off, man. Christmas, maybe, Thanksgiving, the big-ticket holidays, we'll take some time. But now I'm going, man, that would have been as good of an excuse as any to be outside today, man. I went out this morning, hit the fishing pole. I'm just saying, there's a lot of things could have done here because, like you said, not going to see a whole lot of November days in this area, anyways, looking quite like that. Although it's coming, the snow's coming. I don't know if you've heard, but it is coming, Jeff Gorman, to Northeast Ohio.
We can turn our thoughts happy things right now. Talk about
like spring
maybe
training.
How the Indians should maybe take a jump.
Less than 100 days. Let's start it right there. You want a happy
there
thought before the snow even falls. 98 days from today, baby, spring training starts. So you're under 100 days to the countdown. I mentioned it. Hey, I'm going to ask you, because we've talked about Ned Yost a little bit. Obviously, Terry Francona, to me, more deserving of being the manager of the year this year with what he had to deal with than last year. But it's very doubtful that Terry Francona ends up in that position again. He'll be up there, in there. But what do you think? Ned Yost, do you think that he ends up taking it for getting the Royals someplace they hadn't been in 3 decades in the World Series? Or, well, actually the voting would have been done before they made the playoff run, right? So it would have just been based on getting them to the playoffs. You got Showalter. Obviously, Tito's going to get some votes. Who do you think wins it tonight, the AL Manager of the Year?
I think they are going to go with Ned Yost, even though, of course, Showalter and Francona are better managers. I think just the whole story of the Royals making it to the playoffs for the first time in almost 3 decades, somebody had to do that. And, I guess it is kind of an accomplishment, that he was able to do that for the Royals. So I think they're going to give it to him.
Boy, don't give him too many compliments. You're like, well, somebody eventually had to do that. That's funny. Very funny stuff. Yeah, you know what? I think he does too, though. I'm interested in that one. A lot of people, and I saw Ron in the chat room, and he just put it up on our Facebook page as well. But some of these, all the different breakdowns. Corey Kluber, Felix Hernandez, Chris Sale, I think kind of the third horse in that race. But mostly it's coming down to Felix and Corey Kluber in most people's minds. And to me, obviously, success of the team is going to be a neutral position there. So that's not going to sway things either way. I got to tell you, even though people say, well, historically, I hear you, Ron. I'll address that in just a minute. But, well, he's had more historic run. He's got the track record and all of that. It doesn't matter. I think this is not the best pitcher of the last 5 years. It's the best pitcher for this season here. But I just don't think the numbers are that. People, well, you can give this to Felix. And I think Corey Kluber stands out in most of the categories. To me, that's the guy, especially when you consider that Felix was better in the first half of the season than the second, and vice versa for Kluber when the teams were playing meaningful games and trying to make the playoffs, even though they fell short. Both teams were trying to make the playoffs and fell short, and Corey Kluber was better in that stretch. And I think that, to me, puts him over the top. I know I'm a Cleveland guy, and I don't have a vote. What do you think? Who do you think should get it, and do you think Corey Kluber does get it?
This seems like one of those cases where the Cleveland guy is going to get the shaft, especially because, Felix is, a bigger name, but I've got a good feeling that Kluber's going to win it. I think that, he's been so good and so consistent. I think people around the country have been kind of waking up as to how good he is. And I think when it came down the stretch, as far as, the Cy Young race, Kluber was just knocking it out every single time. So I think that Kluber's going to get the credit he deserves, and I think he's going to be close, but I've got a good feeling that he's going to win it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know I've seen a lot of the advanced metrics, and I agree with what Ron just said there. How much better would Corey Kluber have been if the Indians' defense wasn't abysmal for the first half, 2/3 of the season compared to what Seattle had over there? Hernandez has the lead in the ERA. Corey Kluber won more games. Kluber was better in strikeouts per 9. Hernandez was a hair better in walks per 9. A lot of it was leveraged in the second half, and I thought Kluber got better as the season went on. I think we saw that. I mean, he just turned into a bulldog, for lack of better terms, down the stretch. And how about his, for those of you that are into advanced metrics, his wins above replacement was 7.5, and it was significantly better as well there too. So, I don't know. I know people can make the arguments either way, but to me, it is it's Corey Kluber's award here this year. I think second half he was better. They were negligibly the same in the first half. If Hernandez wasn't slightly better for that, I give the edge to Kluber. Interesting fact, you can't even go by team wins and losses. I just saw this. Both teams were 22-12 in games started by that pitcher. So even then, you can't do anything. In the one head-to-head matchup, if that's your thing, Kluber, complete game shutout. Hernandez, 7 innings, gave up 2 runs when those two pitchers met in Cleveland. So, I don't know. I'm with you. We'll see. Some people may say, hey, let me see Corey Kluber go out and do it again next year. But when I talked about that wins above replacement, it was the highest in baseball. It led all of pitchers, and it was the highest since Roy Halladay back in 2011. As far as what wins above replacement is what it would be if you were replaced with the average player at your position. That's a significant chunk for a pitcher right there, nearly 8 wins above what the replacement guy would be. That's pretty significant for sure.
Right, that is really amazing. When you think about it, and you think how the Indians were battling and trying to scratch down the stretch to make the playoffs, every time Kluber was out there, he came through. You can't really, I know nobody's perfect, but I can't really think of anything else Kluber could have possibly done. I mean, he really took everything on his shoulders, and he came through almost like Ubaldo did the previous year. And, I think that overall, I think Kluber's, like I said, I don't think there's really anything else he could have done. I think he definitely deserves to win it.
Yeah. Will he? I don't know. I think it's a matter of, do you separate everything else? If you lump it all together, you go, well, Felix is the man. I'm going to give it to him again. If you just look at this year, I think Kluber edges it out, and you go, you know what? I can give it to this guy because for this season, as good as Felix was, man, Kluber was just a tick better. And that's not taking anything away because they're both amazing. And either one, you can't go wrong with it. We'll see, though. My gut still tells me that they go with the B pushes it over the top with people that might go, well, the numbers look